and our guest happens to have some experience over the last 30 days with Periscope. So Erin is also Periscoping this blab that we're recording for a podcast. So be sure to follow her on Periscope as well.
How fun is this, Periscoping my blab?
So tell us, how did you get started with your Periscope, and what success have you found?
Yeah, thank you. So I attended a mastermind with a group of handmade soap makers and beauty makers, and we talked about the importance of video and how video can help to focus your brand and enhance your brand, basically. So I decided to go out on the beach. I was in beautiful Cancun and saw all these entrepreneurs on the beach scoping and thought, hey, let me test this out. But wanted to make sure I had a good audience. But the beauty of it is, as you probably know, wherever you scope, you get more viewers in that area. So I ended up having my first scope in Cancun, Mexico.
That's
I
awesome.
didn't really have much to say, but just did an introduction and got a lot of followers, and really has grown my Twitter brand. So Twitter is what I was primarily using before Periscope. And I'm up to maybe about 5,500 or 6,000 followers on Twitter. So once the word was out that I'm out here as a resource at Evans IP Law on Periscope, I started getting more followers and even got some clients from it, because what I find is a lot of entrepreneurs are using Periscope to showcase their products and how they make them and how they use them. But a lot of them don't know anything about protecting their brands. And so there's a huge void there where no other attorneys are telling them about the importance of patents, trademarks, and copyrights. So what I find to all your viewers is, if you have a good story to tell, good information, people will follow you if you're not just talking about yourself, but if it's something that's valuable to your viewers. I think people will come in just like this show and offer good information and follow you and hopefully work with you, and it'll turn into something for you.
And what kind of regulations do you find that you have with Periscope? Or is it that you, as with your particular profession, do not have any regulations?
Well, that's a good question. So I own my own practice, which is great. But there's always that disclaimer that I have to throw out there as an attorney, that I'm not giving legal advice.
Right.
And so you definitely don't want someone to follow you on a scope and then decide to make a decision when I'm giving kind of generic information. So I would say that's probably the biggest regulation, if that's what you want to call it. But the beauty of my practice is that it's federal. So I love being able to represent clients all over the world with U.S. intellectual property issues. So that's the beauty of it. It's really, as you all know, about just letting others know that you're out here and being able to provide valuable information and be a resource to others. That's what's really critical.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I just want to tell everybody on Periscope to go follow you, Andrea. It's at Evans IP Law. So
Yes,
make sure you're following her. And I can't wait to go follow you and see all the good advice you're sharing.
Thank you. Yeah, I just did a really interesting scope today. Everybody uses social media, and what people don't realize is you can actually you can trademark hashtags. And so I've been hearing a lot of people say, oh, just go on Twitter and search the most common hashtag and then use that to draw people to your brand, but that could be trademark infringement. So, it's just a lot of things out there where the law is trying to catch up with social media. So it's really, really good, valuable information, and just about understanding what you have as intellectual property, what your brands are. Maybe you are an inventor, what can be copyrighted. So just that type of information. But thank you for following, and looking forward to keeping in touch with both of you on Blab and Periscope.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for jumping on here. Yeah.
Well, and I love that was the topic of conversation for this Periscope bit, because we've talked about Periscope a little bit in the past. And we've talked about that one encounter that we had when our friend Beth was on with us, with the guys who got on and said, show us your shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the law, right? But it is cool. It's cool to be able to know location-based. I'm online right now. Someone could literally walk up to me and join my scope, and that's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I've been doing it a lot more recently. Basically, I've been challenged to do a scope a day, and it's a challenge. Some days, other days it's like, oh, I can't wait to scope. And then, some days it's like, what am I going to talk about? But I'm enjoying it. And, one of the things that I think that Periscope really does for you is, it just helps you be a lot more comfortable being out there and putting yourself out there. Do you guys agree with that? I mean, I feel like it makes my blabs better. It makes my presenting better. It makes, I don't know.
Well, yeah, every time you're in front of the camera or get the opportunity to practice speaking about anything, it makes you better. And you learn different things that, you might multitask different. You might engage different. You might experience something that someone else has to share in a way that they're asking questions that's benefited you.
You know what's interesting, though? I just started Blab yesterday, and it seems a little easier to use Blab as a, video platform just because you can actually talk directly to someone. Because what's interesting, like you said, with Periscope is you're literally just holding the phone, kind of talking to yourself, and it's a delayed text response. So you're like, hey, everybody, where are you located? And then, nobody's
then it's
responding.
yeah.
Maybe I should keep talking. Then they start responding. So, it's a little awkward because people are trying to join the conversation, but it's a delayed response. So I really enjoy being able to have a conversation. People can ask you questions and answer, but as you all know, social media advisor and socially powered, the importance of social media, period. And any opportunity an entrepreneur has to use some free tool and to have one more person watching them or possibly a potential client, I say take advantage of it.
Yeah. I agree. I know that is my challenge with Periscope is there are times that you're just like, it's just me talking to like nobody. Until people start hopping on and giving you love and, commenting and all that good stuff. Otherwise, I don't know. Sometimes it's just a little awkward and uncomfortable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and you know what? we're over on our time again.
We might have to change the name of our show.
Make sure you follow at Evans IP Law to get all sorts of information on Periscope, on Twitter, and all over social media on trademarks and holding yourself accountable to things you can and cannot share. So thank you so much for sharing. I loved getting to visit with you.
Yeah,
Thank you both for having me.
Yeah.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. You too. All right. Well, thanks for being on the Social 7. And that's it for this episode. We will talk to you next week.
Sundays at 7.
Oh, I already hit stop.
Okay.
We might have to do some editing.
We're definitely
Amy just jumped on our Periscope. I'm not paying attention to Periscope because I'm blabbing. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to sign off of Periscope because it's too hard to multitask, I've realized. But, sorry, Amy, you missed it. Oh, and Sarah Ann's on, too. I got some friends on Periscope. Oh, and Evans PI Law, or IP Law, just jumped on, too. I agree, Mike B. So this was a good one, but I'm gonna say goodbye. Thanks for being on and joining the Periscope, and I'll see you later. Bye, Periscope.